which is cooperative economics, which is about supporting ourselves, our businesses and our community. That's what Ujamaa is all about. And so I'm going to introduce you today to an exceptional young man, and I do mean exceptional. He's doing something that is unprecedented in business and for African Americans, particularly millennial African Americans. You just want to say, wow. He's an engineer, an inventor, a small business owner, a philanthropist. He is the youngest person in the nation to have a federal communications commission license to own and operate a cell phone company. Now, I'm telling y'all right now, these cell phone companies are a trip. They charge too much money. So I know you're going to sit up at attention when we get into this. Inc. magazine has awarded him in 2020 the gold medal in the telecommunications industry for being the 2020 best in business list. So we're going to hear all about Figures Communications from our brother, Freddie Figures. Freddie, how are you, my brother?
Hey, good, Brother Mark. How you doing today?
Good. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Brother, I'm so proud of you and just hearing about all the things that you're doing. But folks, let's do this. Freddie has a story to share because it's not just him being successful in business, but what he had to overcome in his life. Amen. Freddie, you were adopted, correct?
Yes, sir.
But what led to your adoption, you were abandoned as a child, were you not?
Yes, sir. My biological mother abandoned me, and I was adopted by two loving parents that was much older that was in the foster care system.
Okay. And where did your mother abandon you?
That she threw me away like day-to-day trash, so she threw me out. So after she birthed me, it was in the trash.
You were literally in a dumpster, correct?
Yeah.
And so from there, you then went into foster care. How old were you when you were adopted?
So my parents, when they adopted me, they immediately filed the paperwork right then and there because I didn't have anyone. Most of the kids that they came through their home, they had mothers or fathers that was maybe incarcerated or something like that. But I didn't have any type of family, so they started the paperwork, and I was adopted at 2 weeks old.
Did you ever meet or ever encounter again your mother?
Nope, never until this day. I don't know who she is. I may see her at a gas station. Wouldn't know her.
Bless her heart. How do you feel about that? I mean, better yet, how did you feel about that as a child growing up? Was that?
I would say as a child, psychologically it bothered me because it made me, think that, maybe I wasn't wanted, I was trash, and it was really difficult at first until I really thought about, my parents that adopted me. They were going into their 70s. So when you think about someone going into their 70s, they're thinking about grandkids and great grandkids, not adopting a newborn baby. So for them to take me in at that age, that they gave me all the love and everything I could ever want. So I really, overcame that when I was around 12 years old about the abandonment.
Okay. Because you saw the blessing that your parents gave.
Yes.
That's good. And that says a lot about them, that they were able to give you all that love and distract you from the other.
Yes.
That's a lot of power to do that through love, and that says a lot about them, as a matter of fact. But still, man, overcoming all that, and then talk to us about your trajectory, your education, and which has gotten you here today. Where'd you go?
So I went to. So the funny thing is, I really don't, tell this to young students because I always want to encourage them to go to school, but school wasn't for me. I stopped school when I was 15 years old because I wanted to go directly into the private sector. And how I got started into technology was at the age of 8. My father bought me an old 1989 Macintosh computer for $24. I always wanted to be a quarterback because I saw other guys how they throw quarterback, they out there playing ball and just my parents really didn't believe in that. They was much older and they didn't believe in to waste no time to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
So my father bought me a computer at the age of 8. I took it home and I started working on it constantly, trying to figure out why won't this computer come on. So I opened it up. I saw some capacitors that was burst open, and I wanted to see about, hey, how can I fix this? So my father had a soldering gun. I went around the house to different, radios and alarm clocks, and I took parts out of those and put in that computer and got it to working. And that was my first time really just saying that this is my passion. So fast forwarding a little bit, I started at an after school program called Children Are Our Future. And I worked in the computer lab, as the teacher's pet, you would say, cleaning up the classroom. So while everyone else is out on the playground, when he leaves out the classroom, I'm taking parts out of old computers and just, repairing them. And the executive director of the program at that time was the mayor of the small city that I come from. So when she comes there and she sees that, wow, you're actually doing this, let me see if you can help us with another project. We have so many computers up here at the city that need to be repaired. So she took me up there, and that's how I started my first job at Nick Quincy at the age of 13.
Wow. And so you've obviously been working on these things and developing your expertise in technology, correct?
Right. So my first real operation, fast forwarding when I was 16 years old, we went on a missionary trip to Dothan, Alabama, and it was a tornado that kind of devastated that area. So we saw so much paperwork from, different local law offices, car dealerships, all of their paperwork, just spread it out everywhere. So I started building a cloud computing system that people were able to. One of the car dealerships gave me an opportunity where I could scan all of their information into a database and give them access to it. So when you think about cloud computing back then, that didn't really exist. So I was fortunate with that opportunity to build that application, and that was one of my first launches, I would say, into the private sector, other than working for the city of Quincy.
Wow, that's amazing. So now you have an FCC license. You're the youngest person with
Correct.
an FCC license to own and operate a cell phone company. Tell us about your cell phone company, Freddie.
So Figures Communication is an American telecommunications company that provides cell phone service, mobile broadband, and international calling services. But not only do we just provide the service, but we manufacture our own devices. So such as consumer electronics, such as handsets, cell phones that you have in your hand, the Figures F3, that's one of the newest models that we have out right now, and other electronics, consumer electronics, such as televisions and health-related products, such as smart glucometers.
Wow. How is the business going, the cell phone business? How is that going for you?
It's going well. We're looking at right now about really trying to break that psychological mindset of people that's locked into the bigger name brands. And it's kind of difficult, but it's going very well.
You know what that's called, Freddie? In our community, it's a phenomenon. WMIC, the white man's ice is colder.
Yeah. And truth be told, we deal with that a lot, and it's very disappointing.
Of course. But what you offer is the same as what everybody else offers in terms of
but more. The figures F3, I mean, has so many different capabilities right now. The average consumer does not know the technical specifications behind their phone.
Right.
They see a number from a next generation and they say, "Hey, I want this device." The Figures F3 has multi-user profile, so I can sign into a guest profile, and hand you my phone. I don't have to worry about you sending my personal content. With your current phone right now, or whoever has one of the big name brands that's on the market, when they hand their phone off, somebody can go through their text messages, their call log, pictures, everything. With a Figures phone, you don't have to worry about that. And all of our products that we build and patent, there's a meaning behind each and every one of them. So we provide service to health management organizations. And when you think about a doctor or someone that's in the health industry, they have two phones. They have their personal phone and their company issue phone. With the Figures phone, you have two SIM cards in one. So it's dual SIM card capability. So with that, you can have your personal line and your company issue phone right then and there on one device.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up, and that's what I need, because I have two lines on my phone now.
Mhm.
And your pricing is more affordable than the
Right.
so-called big names too, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is. So for our Figures Unlimited package, the phone itself, the Figures F3, you get a artificial intelligence wireless Bluetooth supercharger speaker, and you get our signature F buds, and you get a 48-watt universal car charger, and you get a universal travel kit. That's, if you go in, to Europe or anywhere in, the voltage change, you can have that converter right then and there, all for $399.
Now, your phone, if I understand this correctly, it's wireless charging, correct? Do I have that right?
Correct. So it has QI charging. So one of the wireless concepts that we built, but it's being delayed right now, is a mechanism, a wireless inductive charger. So when you get 5 meters within range, your phone automatically starts charging. There's no cords, there's no cables, there's no anything. So we're going through the, the bureaucracy right now of that, and hopefully we'll have that issue, later next year.
What bureaucracy is that, Fred? Is that the FCC?
No, that's Department of Energy.
Okay, okay, gotcha. So, is it just bureaucracy? Is any politics involved in that, or?
Uh, yes, it's difficult too, because the bigger name brands pretty much own those entities, if you would say,
Mhm.
and they have these super mega lobbyists that can walk in and, for example, we built a smart glucometer, and it took about 4 years to get it, approved. But the bigger name brands, it takes them 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So everything's relationship driven, not what you know, it's who you know, and who good, how good is your lobbyist. So
So, can that be defined somewhat as a monopoly on the part of these other groups, these other businesses?
yeah, of course.
Yeah. hmm The reason I'm asking, because we know there's several of them. So I guess they would say, well, we're AT&T and T-Mobile and Verizon, so we can't be a monopoly because we're three different companies.
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty. If you can get through and other people can't get through, that pretty much has to be what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
What we're talking about, not on the service side, but we're talking about on the manufacturing standpoint
Manufacturing
right
side, right?
now. So, bringing a new product, into fruition, and getting the underwriters laboratory to sign off on it, or, getting the Department of Energy to check off on it.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned the smart glucometer. Let's move to that next. The brother's an inventor, y'all. We talk about inventors during Black History Month. Freddie's gonna be among great Black inventors during Black History Month.
Thank
The
you.
smart glucometer. Tell us about that, if you would.
So when you think about the standard glucometer that's on the market right now, when someone checks their blood sugar, they have to write it down and keep a log of it, and they have to turn that into their doctor. It takes 157 seconds to go into a diabetic coma. So what if your blood sugar spikes in the middle of the night, or over the weekend? So we have invented and have it on the market today a smart glucose meter. So as soon as you check your blood sugar, it instantly shares the results to your cell phone, shares it with your closest relative, shares it in your electronic health records, shares it with the patient EHR, and everyone has access to that information right then and there. That's on your parameter. So if your blood sugar spiked or abnormally low, everyone will get an Amber Alert notification to their phone right then and there.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's good. And how's that going? How's the marketing for that going?
It's going that one is a bit challenging because again it goes back to the history of another big company that was the that got a easy approval and was the committee chairman for the current president of their inauguration last term. So they it's it's a challenge. I don't believe I don't never look at anything as competition. I look at it as market share. So it's a market share for for us to get in. But for what we have and what we offer, we've got 57 clinical records that show the complete accuracy of our glucose readings. And even if with scripts right now, when we issue a bottle of 50, but when you get down to 18, your phone will automatically let you know, saying, "Hey, Freddie, you're only at 18 scripts. You're going to run out on such and such day. Press this green button for yes." If the patient doesn't click that, it goes to the family as well, so they can reorder. So the technology that we have behind it is so incredible. But again, it's all about breaking through those market barriers.
Yeah. Now, folks, to be clear, as we talk about Ujamaa, which is an African American holiday, Kwanzaa, Freddie markets to everyone. But what he's talking about, what we're talking about right now, when it comes even to diabetes, who suffers disproportionately from diabetes? It's people look like Freddie and me and you and others who look like us. And we also know that it's because of diabetes that we have been more susceptible to COVID as well, and succumb more to COVID. I'm going to come to COVID in a minute because even Freddie's involved in that. I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute. Before I do that, though, let's just stay with the monitoring. Glucometer, smart glucometer. You've also developed something as well to help families with relatives who suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's too, correct?
Correct. So that was my first invention, first patent invention that I sold on the market. And it comes from a tragedy of mine. My father had dementia, Alzheimer's. So some days he would get up and wonder. He would forget to put on his shirt or his pants, but he would always remember to put on his shoes. So in his cognitive state, he couldn't walk from the living room to the kitchen. But when he was sundowning, he could walk, across town, and he would get lost. So I had to build something. So I built a circuit board and put inside the sole of his shoe with a 90 hertz speaker, a WAN card, and a microphone. So I integrated that with the TomTom mapping system from Garmin. So that's way back, way before Apple Maps or Google Maps. And as soon as my father, I could tell if he's standing up or sitting down. I could tell his exact body position. If he goes wandering, I could say, "Hey, Dad, where are you?" I would come in as on a loudspeaker on his shoe. And the only thing I would need him to do is just say, talking to his shoe. As soon as he says one thing, I could be able to, it sends that notification back to my phone, at the time, a laptop, and I could see exactly where he is on the map. I would get in my car and go pick him up. And I still, to this day, I still have that shoe right there. And that was the precursors to Life Alert, the remote patient monitoring platform.
Okay. So you did that even before Life Alert came out.
Yeah, well, Life Alert was in existence, but they was using the old traditional plain old telephone line, if you would say, where it got it down 911. But this was the wireless patient monitoring.
So is your patient monitoring product still available?
So at that time, I was 17. I was young and dumb. So it was either two things: either keep my father alive, or sell the keep this product. So I did what anybody would do right then and there. I sold it. And and that was a tragedy because my everything I wanted to ever give my father, he passed away 4 days after selling it, and yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a story. Folks, he was 17 selling technology. 17.
Young and dumb. If I could go back in time, I would license it out, not just sell it outright.
Well, most of us, if that's young and dumb, most of us would have been smart if we was young and dumb as you are, just even able to come up with technology at 17 to sell. So that ain't so dumb. It's all relative, brother. To you,
Yeah.
it might be young and dumb for the rest of us.
Well, because it's a little story behind it. So that's what pulled me down to South Florida, because a healthcare institution down in South Florida ended up licensing the program from the software company, and they needed the original architect behind it. So they picked up the phone and they called me and they said, "Hey, we want to pay you, $60,000 a year to maintain this program." And I was like, "Okay." So I started back, working on it, and I looked at it and I was like, "What was the original contract?" They licensed this program out to them for over $40 million. So I was like, "Wow," that was kind of like, you know, taking, we'll say, for example, Henry Ford and making him go sell cars at the car dealership.
Wow. Amazing. So now you also are you either developing or you've developed a refrigeration system for the COVID vaccine?
So we've already built that, and we're working on the patent right now to get that issued. So we built an ultra medical freezer that can sustain temperatures up to negative 80 degrees Celsius. That's using liquefied natural gas. So, and we have backup UPS batteries inside of it. So even if it's unplugged or you lose power, you'll still have those sub-zero temperatures for up to 30 hours.
Wow. So, because we've been hearing how this vaccine needs to be kept cold, but everybody's asking, and some people asking me, I don't know why, because I'm not qualified to answer. Now I can tell them now that I've talked to you, but people call me, Mark, how they gonna keep it? How they gonna keep it cold? I'm like, I have no idea. So
Yeah, there's not a lot of refrigeration systems out there that can handle that. I mean, there's markets for it because there's liquid hydrants, but for that quantity, they're not there. And to refrigerators use reverse engineering. The hotter the capacitor gets, the colder the air intake is. It's similar, the same thing as an air conditioning unit at your house. So in our ultra medical freezer, we have 31 capacitors that's compact in there, so it sustains those temperatures.
wow, that's amazing. So you are seeking a patent for that. And then, so what's the process? Once you get a patent, you can actually produce it and sell it. Is that the thing?
Well, I mean, once you get a patent pending, you can go on the market and you don't have to worry about any copyright infringement or any patent trolls to go out there and take your idea and run with it. But again, there are always going to be those entities that would say, let me modify this a little bit. Okay, so you have this on this side, let me modify and put it on that side, or make it a little bit smaller, or make it a little bit bigger.
Okay, so that's what would happen. Because I'm curious. Well, you mentioned some of the things that people use now. We're hearing about how they're shipping it out. Would your device, well, where would it be used? Would it be used in shipping? Would it be just used in a physical location? What?
So our device will be used at a fixed facility, such as where you want to store the actual COVID vaccine. So it could be before transport or after transport, but preferably what we're looking at is the health facilities, because you have to think about this. The deployment that they have right now, they're looking at hitting the major hospitals. But what about the rural areas? What about the underserved communities, in the FQHCs, that the walk-in clinics? So that's where we're looking at. And again, we have a pretty strong motto that we believe people over profit, and we've made this pretty affordable.
So, how close are you to the patent pending and being able to move to the market?
So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have that together, and we can start approaching some different health facilities to put it out there.
Wow, that's incredible and amazing, brother. You doing it all.
But trying to be innovative, just trying to, do some different things and make the world a better place.
60 employees.
Yes.
$65 million company. Correct.
Yes. Correct.
All right. So does that mean if you got 60 employees and you got $60 million company, does each of your employees make $1 million?
No, but they are career sets. They are careers. So that's the valuation of our company. And hopefully, next year, our valuation can go up.
Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you because I was going to work for you if that's the case. I know that's not the way it works though. Man, this is I'm really speechless and so proud of you, my brother. Make your case to our audience as to why they should consider your company for any of their technological needs. Now, have I left everything out? We talked about the phone, the glucometer, and obviously the regular consumer won't be storing COVID vaccine. But are there other products I'm leaving out?
So we have
earbuds. Earbuds. He sent me some earbuds. He sent me the thing for there's some earbuds here. So he's got a lot of stuff here.
Yes.
The charger. Are there any other products I'm leaving out, Freddie?
So we have multiple different products that's coming on the market next year. And one thing about the Figures phone is globally unlocked. So you're not just tied to the Figures network. You can use your phone on AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, whatever other carrier that's out there. But one thing about us that makes us different is, again, our motto and integrity that we believe in people over profit. 20% of our gross revenue goes back to our foundation. When COVID-19 hit our community, the Figures Foundation was right there to support. As of today, we've donated over 2.6 million personal protective equipment all throughout the country, from Florida, New York, New Jersey, Michigan. I mean, we put over 100,000 miles on all our vehicles. And not just that, but we have delivered over 500 scholarships since 2015. We have a school in Zambia that if it wasn't for us, those girls would be exposed to sex trafficking. We have an eye center in Mandeville, Jamaica, and we have 90 at-risk males. Well, they were labeled at-risk males in college right now. But when you think about the bigger companies, the big name brands, what do they do for our community?
Nothing.
And you're going to still pay that phone bill every month. You're still going to buy their phone, and they're not going to do anything. They'll make smart remarks in a boardroom, and maybe some days we'll catch that in the editorial. People will be outraged with them for a few 2-3 months, but then they'll go back and buy their products. That is, when you think about those big name brands, all the thing they care about is return on shareholders' investment. Like some of their products exceed $1,000, but their bill of material is less than $100. So look at that revenue markup.
Yeah. That's real. So on the Figures phone, if someone has one of the other accounts and they want to switch over to you, you can port the number, right?
Yeah, less than 2. Yes, sir. Absolutely, less than 2 bands.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's web enabled, so you can surf the web.
Yes, sir.
On the Figures phone.
Yes, sir. You can do everything you can with your, with a Figures phone, like you could do with your current phone right now.
Yeah, folks, this is amazing, and Michael Figures is doing it all. And as he said, there's some other things he's going to be working on. And brother, I mean, really, congratulations on all this. Like I said, I'm so proud of you, and you're such an inspiration to come from where you came from, folks, and to provide the business products he's providing to the world, and to participate in philanthropy the way he does. You mentioned global, though. how's your business throughout the world? I mean, obviously you're marketing all over the world, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Marketing throughout the world. But again, we have to focus on one battlefront. So we market primarily in the United States domestically, and we're doing some things in Africa, and in the continent. So, yep. So we're really trying to break in over there to really, offer better cellular communications right now.
Freddie Figures, y'all.
Thank you.
He's this is really something, man. I'm just really just taking it all in. I'm just blown away. We should support this brother. We should seriously think about that. I know it's hard because we think that, again, white man's ice is colder, and we've been conditioned to certain things. But it's important that we begin to change our thinking in that regard. Freddie, give everybody the website and
Yes, sir.
everything.
So the Figures is the Figures Communications website is figures.com. That's FIGGERS.com.
Okay. All right. Figures.com, folks. Go there, find out more, learn more, get behind it. In the spirit of Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics. Listen to this. This is the principle. To build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. So don't just be lighting no candles like that's it. This is about building and maintaining our own shop, stores, and businesses within our own community. We talk about Black business. We're in this reckoning in 2020. We talk more and more about that. But that has to become a way of life. And this was a principle of Kwanzaa going back to 1966, before George Floyd was killed. So this is always been on the books, but we have not practiced this. So this is a young millennial African-American brother who's doing this. I'm going to be promoting him and sharing his work with everyone, telling everybody about it. Why don't you do the same, especially during this Kwanzaa season, especially during Ujamaa, in recognition of the principle of Ujamaa of economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Figures.com. Freddie, so proud of you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show today.
And it's a pleasure to meet you. Let's definitely continue to tell people. Let us know when you're doing things, whatever they are,
yes,
business-wise, philanthropically, so we can let our audience know. Folks, we're going to support Freddie Figures. Thank you, Freddie.
Thank you.